The average EV battery is supposed to last 8 to 10 years. Some are already hitting 200,000 miles with barely a dent in their capacity. Others lose 30% of their range before they've seen 5 years on the road. Same technology, wildly different results. Here's what the real data actually shows. Let's be honest about why this matters. The battery is the most expensive component in any electric vehicle, often worth more than a third of the car's total value. When it degrades, you don't just lose range, you lose resale value, confidence in the car, and in some cases, the ability to use it the way you bought it. Battery anxiety isn't really about range, it's about knowing whether the range you have today will still be there in 4 years. And the frustrating part is that most EV buyers never get a straight answer. The marketing says the battery is guaranteed for 8 years or 100,000 miles. The fine print says up to 30% degradation before a warranty claim is even valid. That's not the same thing. What buyers actually want to know is simple. Which batteries hold up, which ones don't, and what separates the two? That's what this video covers. Not projections, not lab tests. Real-world data across the manufacturers that actually have meaningful numbers behind them. The two main battery types explained. Before you can compare brands, you need to understand the chemistry, because the single biggest fact in how long an EV battery lasts isn't the brand name on the car, it's what's inside the cells. Most EVs today run on one or two chemistries. The first is NMC, nickel manganese cobalt. This is the chemistry behind most long-range EVs. It packs a lot of energy into a relatively small, lightweight package, which is why it's used in performance models and high-range trims. The trade-off is that NMC cells are more sensitive to heat, more sensitive to charging habits, and degrade faster when regularly pushed to high states of charge. Manufacturers typically recommend keeping NMC batteries between 20 and 80% for daily use. Not because 100% will destroy the pack overnight, but because repeated high-voltage stress adds up over thousands of cycles. The second is LFP, lithium iron phosphate, lower energy density, which means less range per kilogram of battery, but the chemistry is fundamentally more stable. LFP battery cells experience less than 1% volume change during charging and discharging cycles, compared to the 5 to 10% in NMC. That structural stability translates directly into longevity. LFP batteries are rated for 3,000 to 5,000 charge cycles before noticeable degradation, compared to around 1,000 to 1,500 for most NMC packs. They also run at lower voltages, generate less heat, and carry significantly lower fire risk. The practical difference is that LFP batteries can be charged to 100% daily without the same degradation penalty, while NMC batteries, used the same way, wear out faster. Understanding this distinction is the foundation for everything that follows. Tesla batteries, NMC and LFP. Tesla has the largest real-world EV dataset on the planet. More miles, more cars, more years of data than any other manufacturer. And the numbers are useful precisely because they cover both chemistries. On the NMC side, Tesla's real-world fleet data consistently shows a roughly 10 to 15% capacity loss after 100,000 miles. That's meaningful but manageable. A car that launched with 300 miles of range still has 250 to 270 miles after 6 figures on the odometer. Compared to what many buyers feared, is a reasonable outcome. The LFP-equipped Tesla models perform even better. The lower voltage stress and more stable chemistry result in a noticeably flatter degradation curve over time, with some long-term LFP owners reporting losses closer to 5 to 8% over similar mileage. What gives Tesla an edge across both chemistries is thermal management. Tesla's battery management system is among the most sophisticated in the industry, actively controlling temperature during charging, discharging, and storage. Heat is the single biggest accelerator of battery aging, and Tesla's ability to keep pack temperatures in a tighter operating window pays off in the long-term data. Tesla's VP of Vehicle Engineering recently confirmed that their next generation of nickel-based batteries will be durable enough for daily charges up to 90%, reversing years of guidance that capped everything charging at 80%. That shift is backed by cathode doping technology, which adds trace elements to the cathode structure to reduce cracking and chemical side reactions that cause gradual capacity loss. According to Tesla's own filings, the improvement is significant. Older nickel cathodes retain around 83% capacity under heavy use, while dope cathodes hold closer to 91%. The gap between LFP convenience and NMC performance is closing. BYD Blade Battery, LFP done differently. BYD's Blade Battery deserves its own section because it isn't just LFP chemistry, it's a fundamentally different physical design. Traditional LFP battery packs stack cells into modules, which are then assembled into a pack. The Blade design removes the modular layer entirely. Long flat cells are arranged directly into the pack structure like blades in a rack, increasing space utilization by over 50% compared to the conventional LFP configurations. The result is an LFP battery that achieves energy density competitive with other NMC packs, closing the range gap that has historically made LFP the budget chemistry. The longevity numbers are exceptional. BYD rates the Blade battery at over 5,000 charge cycles while maintaining 70% of its original capacity. In a real-world use case of one full charge per day, that's nearly 14 years before hitting that threshold. The degradation curve is also notably stable, rather than steeper initial drop followed by a slower decline, which is common in NMC. Blade battery cells tend to degrade more gradually and consistently across the full cycle life. Safety margins are extreme. BYD famously drove a nail through the Blade battery in a live demonstration. No smoke, no fire, surface temperature reaching only 30 to 60 degrees Celsius. The thermal stability that makes LFP safer in accidents is also what makes it more forgiving over years of daily use. The Blade battery is currently used across BYD's full lineup of EVs and plug-in hybrids. In March of 2026, BYD introduced the second-generation Blade battery, now using LMFP composition with energy density of 190 to 210 watts per kilogram and a cycle capability of 3,000 to 3,500 cycles at higher energy output. It's an evolution of already strong technology. Before we continue, hit that subscribe button to stay connected and learn more about EVs. Hyundai and Kia, the E-GMP platform. The Hyundai Ioniq 5 and Kia EV6 run on Hyundai Motor Group's dedicated EV platform called the E-GMP, and the battery performance on these vehicles has been genuinely impressive. Real-world data from Ioniq 5 and EV6 owners show very stable degradation curves, in line with or better than comparably aged Tesla NMC vehicles. The liquid-cooled pouch cell battery packs hold capacity well across a wide range of climates and charging patterns. The 800-volt architecture means the pack charges faster while generating proportionately less heat per kilowatt-hour delivered, a genuine engineering advantage for long-term cell health. Charging performance on these vehicles also holds up across the battery's lifespan in a way that stands out. Some EVs show noticeably slower fast charging speeds as the pack ages. E-GMP vehicles have been more consistent over time, which matters for owners who do regular road trips. The long-term reliability data from the E-GMP generation suggests the foundation strong. Nissan Leaf, the air cooling problem. The Nissan Leaf is the oldest mainstream EV with meaningful long-term data, and that data tells a story with a clear lesson. Early Leaf models, particularly the 2011 to 2017 cars with 24 kilowatt packs, used passive air cooling for the battery. No active cooling loop, no way to aggressively manage pack temperature during fast charging or in hot weather. In moderate climates with careful use, these cars held up reasonably well. In hot climates, Arizona, Nevada, inland California, the results were significantly worse. Some early 24 kilowatt-hour Leafs lost 30 to 40% of their capacity within 5 years in high heat environments. The numbers break down like this. In moderate climates, expect roughly 15 to 25% loss after 5 years for the older packs. In hot climates, with regular DC fast charging, that number climbs considerably higher. Nissan improved the chemistry in later 40 kilowatt-hour and 62 kilowatt-hour packs, and those versions hold up better. But the fundamental issue, no active liquid cooling, was never fully resolved in the Leaf's production run. The larger 62 kilowatt pack at least offers more buffer against degradation, so even a 20% loss leaves more usable range than the same percentage loss on a smaller pack. Chevrolet Bolt, quietly reliable. The Bolt doesn't generate the same conversation as Tesla or BYD, but the real-world degradation data is solid. The original Bolt used nickel-rich lithium-ion chemistry with a liquid-cooled pack, a simpler system than Tesla's but effective. Real-world fleet data shows stable, gradual degradation over time, with most owners in moderate climates reporting 10 to 20% capacity loss after 5 to 7 years of use. The battery architecture prioritized durability over peak performance, and the long-term numbers reflect that. The second-generation 2027 Bolt makes the switch to LFP chemistry, a 65 kilowatt-hour pack with 255 miles of rated range and up to 150 kilowatt DC fast charging. That's a meaningful upgrade. LFP's structural stability means Bolt owners won't need to manage charging habits the way NMC owners do. The new pack also brings the same daily 100% charging capability that Tesla's LFP models have offered for years. The Bolt has consistently been underestimated. Its degradation profile has been more predictable and less dramatic than many early Leaf owners experienced, and the shift to LFP positions the next generation well for long-term reliability. Which batteries last the longest? Based on the real-world data available today, the ranking looks like this. LFP batteries, specifically BYD's Blade battery, lead the field in raw longevity, 5,000 cycles, minimal degradation curve, exceptional thermal stability, and no need to manage charging limits. If you want the battery that holds up the longest with the least maintenance of habits, LFP is the answer. Tesla's managed NMC system are a close second. Strong thermal management and increasingly durable cell chemistry close the gap significantly. And with the next generation of doped NMC cells coming, the performance difference between Tesla NMC and LFP may narrow further. Modern liquid-cooled batteries, Hyundai E-GMP, current-gen Bolt, and equivalent systems deliver solid long-term performance that puts them well ahead of passive air-cooled systems. The Nissan Leaf's early air-cooled packs sit at the bottom of that ranking, not because the chemistry was uniquely bad, but because the thermal management was absent. It's a cautionary data point, not a condemnation of the brand. What matters more than brand? Here's what the data shows, and it's worth saying clearly, the battery brand matters less than what you do with it. Heat is the primary driver of accelerated degradation across every chemistry and every manufacturer. Parking in direct sunlight, charging in peak summer heat, using DC fast charging as a daily routine rather than a situational tool. These habits push degradation curves steeper on any pack, regardless of whether it's LFP or NMC. Charging habits are the second variable. NMC batteries charged to 100% daily degrade measurably faster than those kept between 20 and 80%. A 2023 study published in Frontiers found that calendar aging in lithium-ion batteries doubles when the state of charge sits above 90% at elevated temperatures. The best battery chemistry in the world doesn't override physics. Driving style matters too, but it's the smallest of the three factors. Consistent hard acceleration adds marginal stress. It's nothing like the compounding impact of heat and high charge levels over years of use. Drop a comment below. Which EV do you own, and how has the battery held up so far? Subscribe for more EV content that skips the speculation and sticks to what the data actually shows.